What's up, everybody? Carolina Keith, regular Keith, Professor Keith, just Keith. Whew, man, that come in a sucky close, didn't it? We really wanted to see a better close. It didn't quite get there where we wanted it to go. Well, we'll talk about it a little bit. I want to show you guys some higher time frame charts, kind of put your mind at ease a little bit on what things may look like and the way things may be turning the corner. Maybe not. We'll see a little bit at a time here. I want to take them step by step. I don't want to go too far down the Hopium River. Let's stick to data. Let's stick to facts. Let's stick to analytics. We'll do it live. Welcome to Crypto After Dark. If you haven't done so, please go hit like, man. It's free. It costs absolutely nothing to be here and be part of the crew. Hit the notification bell while you're there so you don't miss any of these videos. That's if you're on YouTube. If you're over on X, bro, give the video, give the post a like, drop a comment down below and say, hey, let me know where you guys are watching from, what you guys are looking forward to. If you got a request for a chart, maybe drop it. We'll see if we can get to it. Got a ton I'm going to show you today, all right? I want to start with the high time frame, and I'm going to try to kind of trickle down for each asset one by one. I'm going to start on the monthly and kind of go down through them because, like I said, I think we sometimes we lose track of stuff because, you know, we get caught up in the moment or in the heat of things, and a lot of times we forget about the bigger picture. You know what I mean? I don't want to forget about the bigger picture. I want everybody to see it. So let's get cracking here, and we'll do Bitcoin first. What's up, Crew Chief? What's up, Mullet? Good to see you, brother. What's up, Josh Udall? Good to see you, my friend. Shout out to Raclette. Good to see you, brother. That's Killer Smile over on X. Shout out to my cousin Jeremy. He just retweeted the stream. Appreciate that, brother. All right, so let's start with the Bitcoin monthly chart. All right, I'm going to record these clips so I can repost them over on YouTube as well. This was the highest monthly close in the history of Bitcoin. Again, for the third consecutive month in a row, she's closed a higher month than before. 3 consecutive records in a row. That's 4 consecutive months in a row. One solid quarter plus 1 month of nothing but up. And they've been 4 very good months as well. These are very bullish candles. As you see, they're quite full-bodied with wicks on both the top and the bottom, but not overbearing wicks. They look very, very flowed and very, very even. What's up, Cody? Good to see you, brother. They look very, very even and very, very smooth. Now, I've kind of drawn out how the price action I think will go over the next coming months. You see, I got a high here and a low and a higher high and a higher low. And I do think this is going to run all the way out till sometime at the end of the year. Again, we're going to get some red in here at sometimes. It's just part of the gig. I want you to notice how good this looks in comparison to things, right? Again, we get down on the daily chart, we get down on the low time frames, and we start to get all frazzled and upset and frustrated with things. But don't forget that the high time frames look great. All these moves are high time frame moves, and they take a while to play out sometimes, okay? Just the way it is. You don't get to pick. You gotta roll with the cards that you're given. If we scroll out a little bit, I tell you what, I won't even scroll out a little bit. I just wanted you to see that we had multiple 3 in a row, multiple monthly candles that set all new high, all-time high records for monthly closes for Bitcoin. And I'll show you the side by side here. Let me drop the camera off. 2012, 2016, 2020, and 2024, all side by side. You can see that we are still over the parabola over here on the right. This is the one that's active at the moment. These are the old charts on the left, 2012, 2016, and 2020, as you can see. We're kind of following right along in the footsteps of those so far. We're still riding along this parabola. Anything over 109, 110 is fine. It's fine. And it may go down there and wick and then pull back up. Again, that's kind of fine. It's kind of fine. I'll get down to the lower time frames in a moment and let you see them. More so, I wanted you to see that everything is just kind of doing okay. It's kind of doing okay. If I flip to weekly, it's a little uglier. You can kind of see, and I've got our James Wynn stuff on here because he's one of the literal worst traders on X of all time. I watched him make about 30 bad decisions in a row and then just triple down and quadruple down, which is just a big no-no. You know what I mean? When you're wrong, stop. Anyway, 2016, 2020, left, right, and in the middle is our current price action. Again, I still like 128 and 175, 130-ish and 175. For those exact same reasons. The thumbnail was not clickbait. Again, I think we get here. I think it's going to take some time, but I do think it'll make its way up to the levels that we want to see. Let me jump over to the same one I just showed you there. This is the one in the middle right here. That's this chart, okay? Exact same layout as you see. There's the 130 and the 175K. Same exact thought process goes into this one as well. You're well over your monthly 821. You have high time frame fib lines up here. This is the 1414 and the 1618 rough area. And that's why I think eventually, mathematically speaking, we should get up there based on the data. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow or the next day. As a matter of fact, I think it's going to take some time here. This is the first couple hours of the first day of August. All right, it's going to get rocky here for a little bit. We're going to have some violent price action back and forth, until things kind of settle out and find their footing. It's pretty common and par for the course. Note that monthly is triple 1, 2, 3 overbought. So once this overbought is done, this last overbought, whenever it is, folks, that might be the last one for a year. All right, and I say that with haste because I don't want it to be that way, but it's just the facts. Here's what happened back in the day. You can see we sprinted up all-time high on our RSI. That was back at the beginning of 2021. And it tried to go again at the end of 2021, and it really just fell flat on its face. It's been a little bit more consistent this time. I'm hoping we continue to see the consistency. Here's the monthly MACD. Y'all look, it's screaming high. It's screaming high. Let's note that this still may pull back here, and it would not be the end of the world. It's the highest that MACD has been since 2021. It's much higher, in fact, and you can see all the green volume we've had come in. Throw in whatever bullish news you want that makes you get your bias back to where you want it. But what I see is a wicked high chart. Here's pivot points, R2 and R3. You can see about 123 and 150. You can see we hit that R3 perfectly, and these pivot points run all the way to the end of the year. These are sort of mathematical waypoints on the chart, and you can see how well the price action will actually follow those waypoints. Followed R1 very well, which was resistance 1. This is resistance 2, which is like a predetermined mathematical resistance of 123,000. Call it 125. We hit it pretty much perfectly, and we've rolled back, and we're still stuck in between them for now. All right. Anything above that, and that opens us up to R3 or higher. All right. And I do think we're going to hit at least 130 or more. All right. Again, it's not going to happen right now. I think we still have months to go. I think this probably runs out to the end of the year. What's up, the Inferno Ring? Good to see you. Now let's go down to weekly. Like I showed you a second ago, weekly is a little bit weaker, and these pivots are pretty much the same as what you just saw. Just kind of shows you a little bit closer view. You're still well over the 8 EMA here, and flying pretty well. We may end up getting consolidation like we got back here and like we got right here, happening again right here before we make another move up. As you know, there was no rate cuts. The housing market continues to stagnate, and since the housing market stagnates, and that's the biggest purchase that an American can make, well, guess what? Things start to stagnate even more. And that freeze out that happens in the market causes money to get stuck and not want to get invested. How do you fix that? Well, when prices are too expensive and people aren't buying new houses, they're just only people who are buying houses are the people who already had houses well before and are really, really, really good spots. We get stagnant markets. The only way to fix that is to cut rates and spur growth. And they haven't cut rates except right before the election. They cut rates right before the election. You remember that one? Yeah, I remember that one. So got to deal with that. Nothing you can do about it. By the way, we're getting a little bit of chop on YouTube. We're getting a little bit of chop over on X. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Just kind of roll with it and deal with it if you can. What's up, Sir Sigma? What's up? What's up, Diego? Good to see you, brother. That's my weekly look. Everything's still fine here. Again, you were overbought. She did roll back some. Could be worse. Could be better. But it's all right for now. I think there's more juice in the tank here. I really do. I think there's more juice in the tank. Just got to kind of wait it out. And down to daily, we did fall underneath the 821 EMA here. That sucks. Didn't want to see that. I wanted to see it stay above that 821 EMA. By the way, everybody, go give this a share. Share it around on YouTube. Share it around on X if you got an X account. You know what I'm saying? Brother, do your best. Do your thing. Share it around. The more people who see this, the better. We want everyone to get as much data as they can. I don't expect you to listen to me or understand what I'm saying. We do this to learn, right? We do this in front of everybody live because I want you guys to see what we're doing. I want you to learn what we're doing, okay? It's nothing secretive here. I've told this story before, but it really pissed me off back in the day when no one would show me what I was doing wrong, right? It really made me mad until someone came along and finally pushed me over the hurdle where I said, I'll figure this shit out myself, right? And then that's why we do these streams. We want everyone to see. Thank y'all. I didn't know if y'all would see the chop or not. It popped up on my YouTube over here, though, so it was like warning me or whatever. Anyway, back to the 821 EMA. We're underneath it now. This would be the second close in a row underneath the 821. I don't want to make a rash decision here since it's the first day of the month. I want to kind of give it a little bit of time. If it wants to chop here, it's not the end of the world. But if it does give me a chance to scale out, I very well may scale out some. I don't like the fact that it's rolled up underneath that 821 for the first time since the middle of June. It lasted a whole month over the 821. And again, I hate to make a rash decision, but I'm going to have to do what I got to do if it wants to play around here. Yesterday was a brutal day. We really, really, really didn't need that day yesterday, but it happened. Pivot points did move, and we did bounce right off of the new pivot point at 114.717. Call it 114.750. So while it looks rough right now, and we had a couple ugly days, it's the beginning of the month. I don't want to make a bad decision. I want to give this a couple hours, couple days. Let's see what comes out of it. All right. Let's see what comes out of it. Don't panic. I don't think it's over. All right, sweet. That was Bitcoin. And we'll go do some more here. What's up? What's up, bro? Good to see you, brother. He says fractals, Bree. There's your fractals right there, Bree. And they still look pretty good, bruv. It's like just the British always ruin our words. The British always ruin our words. Aerotine and fractal bunny money. Dude, I need to wear the bunny money shirt again on here, don't I? Problem is I grew and the shirt didn't. It's fine. I'm about to start jiu-jitsu again. And it's going to suck, but I'm going to start it back. And the weight's going to fall off, and I'm going to have a hard time keeping that weight back on again. All right, let's move on to some more here. Let's jump right in. I tell you what. Let's jump right into everybody's favorite, XRP. Yeah, it's not really everybody's favorite.
Wrong.
But I'm going to do it anyway because I want everybody to see XRP, and I want you to see what I see on the chart here. Let's start on the high time frame. Let's go all the way out to the monthly. Now, look at this. This is such a close close above new all-time high monthly, but it was ever so slightly underneath a new monthly all-time high. I mean, it is dead on it, but it didn't quite make it. It was very, very close. Look at that. I mean, like a whisker away. Could you call it a new all-time high? I mean, you probably could, but it didn't technically. It's right underneath a new monthly all-time high. But what a hell of a month for XRP, huh? Good thing I was in. Good thing we were in over in the Discord. Good thing we were watching and ready and we knew what was up. That's right. We were on it. WAP.com/team786. It's right down there. By the way, this is the last day. Going in through tomorrow is the last day to get half off forever and a full month free. This is your last day to be able to do it. All right. All right. So anyway, as far as 821 EMA goes, you're way over. If we scroll out if we scroll out a little bit here, you'll see we broke through our 3 resistance zones. We can probably delete the blue and the green down here. They're no longer even needed for support right now. The new big time support box will be this white box right here. That'll kind of be support for us for the next several years, I think. For now, we're up over the red box that you see right here. That was the high time frame resistance. That's kind of gone. The only resistance we got left is the resistance we formed just in February. That's it. After that, there is no more, and you're back into price discovery all over again. Okay, we almost made it back to price discovery again. This month that we just had, we got really, really, really close to starting it again. I think we may have more on the back end of this. I don't think she's done. Yes, it did go screaming overbought on the RSI, but it's cooled off some, and it's still in the overbought territory, so there still may be more room for it to get moving again. All right, down to the weekly. All right, so weekly is still actually sitting right at about support. Right there where those previous candles closed, right there at the top right there, that created a support zone. Price is over it, it's support. If price is under it, it's resistance. And we are right at or over it right now. Not bad. All right, I know it sucks that it's red for a couple months in a row, but it's not bad. It's still over the 821 EMA. That's good. You rejected R2. Just like you rejected R2 over on Bitcoin's monthly chart. Same thing over here on XRP. It did the same darn thing, but it's still over R1. Really anything over $3 here is all right. I mean, it might wick and dance around a little bit, but it's part of the game. Daily, 294 is the pivot point. You got your 821. This will be the second day underneath the 821 in a row if it closes under here. It's not exactly ideal, but again, I don't want to panic and overthink this. This is the first day of the month. It's usually a bad idea to try to make a move on the first day of the month. All right, 50 moving average is way down there. That would be my next holy shit level, but I don't think that's exactly in the cards right now. That's all the way down at 260. That seems a little overdone right now to be thinking that. If you look at your Ichimoku cloud here, you're still 4 out of 4. You've got a green cloud. That's over here on the end. You've got a price over the Ichimoku cloud. That's in that yellow circle right there. You've got the blue line, which is the conversion line, over the red line, which is the baseline. That's a good sign there. That's 3 out of 4. And last but not least, the lag line all the way over on the left is above the candles and above the cloud. You got all 4 Ichimoku cloud points of good. Things are fine here. Things are fine here. XRP's fine here. I know it sucks that it's been red for so many days in a row. I know it's underneath the 821. If you feel like you need to scale out a little bit and you want to work back into it, fine. Knock yourself out. I haven't made a move on this one yet. I might at the end of the day. I want to kind of wait on this and let this brew a little bit. I don't want to make the mistake of making a move too soon. Yesterday was brutal. I get it. Today's already got a little bit of buy pressure on the bottom of it. So I want to leave it be and let it boil a little bit and see if it can't pull itself out of the mud. We got some comments over here. Got some comments. Let me put the comments on the screen for everybody so everybody can see y'all's comments. Bam. There you go. So let's see. He said, sell me this pen. Well, write this down real quick, mother. I said, let's talk XDC. We can look at XDC's chart, can't we? Of course we can. Do I need to drop out of... If you drop out, you can't re-sign up for a cheaper price. If you do, like I said before, if you're already a member, you get a free one-on-one consult. That's what I did for all the current members. That way you would get something and not be left out in the dark. I explained all that in the announcements section. If you check the announcements, you'll see it up there. Good thing I took profits on XRP looking for an entry. Nice, bro. Now I have sold it and taken profits and rebought this a couple times. I haven't done anything yet. Here's my actual buy lines. And since we're above this uptrend right here, that was part of the reason I didn't want to sell it and rebuy it just yet. I thought I better wait a couple days and let this kind of breathe. Everything's going to bounce to 50. That's another good point. If it fails, that's a long way down there, dude. That's a long way down there. All right. So let's go to here's one that I got a lot of questions about, but I haven't done a ton of charts on. Ondo Finance. So let's break out to the monthly chart here. Let's find an older chart if we can. There we go. You know what else? No, never mind. Let's drop some of these lines off. These old lines don't help me anymore. And I can take these fibs off. Let's just look at the candles first. Look at there. First, good green monthly candle that closed above some other monthly candles in quite a while for Ondo. It had quite a few ugly months. But now this was the first chance it's had to actually flex a little bit, and it closed a nice green candle. I'm not in love with the wick on the top. All right, that sell pressure is going to kind of hold this thing down a little bit, and I don't want to let it loose just yet. But look at that. It closed over the monthly 8 EMA. That is wonderful. First time that's happened since February. Actually, since January. January was the last time it was over the 8 EMA monthly. So it's been a solid 6 months of failure. And luckily, I was able to get in at a really good price here. Feeling pretty good about it now. So I don't like the sell pressure on the top of that monthly candle. Could be worse though. Could have closed red. So the pivot point is way up there. You can see that we almost hit it right there, but we didn't. That is sitting at about 119 on the pivots. $1 makes sense then, huh? Right? Because it's already been up there once. I think it's going to get back to $1 again, but there's not a lot of data here. Let's go down to the weekly. All right. So weekly, she tried to make a new high, and then abruptly this week, she wasn't having it. She rolled back very aggressively, but look, that was the 8, 21, and 50 moving average weekly. Let's see if the remainder of the week has a chance to let this thing fight a little bit more And we'll see if next week can't come back and be a little bit more positive. But again, that monthly AEMA break was awesome. And here's the daily. So daily's underneath the pivot currently. I don't like that. Underneath the 200, the 821 EMA, all at once, it was looking pretty good. It jumped the 200 and then snap your fingers. A whole bunch of red days in a row, pillaged this thing all the way back down to the 150 moving averages where it's sitting right now on support. Not bad, right? It's sitting on support. Not bad. Say that again. It's sitting on support. Not bad. It's about the most risky position that I would want to add to. If I was looking to add to it, this is about the spot where I would go. I'm not going to add in. If it goes any lower here, it's too risky for me. But since it's sitting on support, not the end of the world to think maybe it's worth a shot to add a little bit more here. It's a little bit tricky to do it at the first of the month. Usually turns out to be the wrong thing to do, making a quick trade right off the bat. But it's up to you. It's your money, okay? Don't let me tell you what to do. I want you to do it on your own. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just an idiot on the internet. Don't listen to me. I'm just here to report data. So 382 fib right here, still hanging on with a hammer candle. If that fails, we're down to 85 cents. And then we got the golden pocket down here at 80 cents. Again, these are very risky down here though, huh? I think you understand that's very risky to go try to buy those, but up to you. I still like this. I think it's all right. I don't want to do the wrong thing here, but I added to this already. I'm going to wait it out a little longer here. That's a decent candle, and I think we're going to get at least some consolidation going into the weekend. I don't want to make a rash decision. I'm going to say that a lot because it's very important. It's important not to do anything stupid. Virtuals. We can look at that. All right. So I said XRP. Let me look and make sure I got all the ones wrote down that people ask me about first. Grab something to drink real fast. Hope you guys are having a good night, by the way. We got about 200 people watching. Go hit like, y'all. I see about 4 of y'all have liked over on X. Y'all go give it a like, man. It's free. It don't cost nothing to hit the like button. You guys over on YouTube, there's half the people that are watching the video have hit like. And y'all go hit like, bro. It don't cost nothing. You know what I'm saying? It don't cost nothing to go hit like. Just do it. It's free. Free. Let me make sure I've got everything proper wrote down. All right. I did them. Yeah, I got those. All right. Let me get to some of these requests. All right. SLP. Smooth Love Potion. Wow. I haven't seen this one in a while. This is from last bull run. Do you guys remember this SLP Smooth Love Potion? It was part of all the nodes and the Ponzi's and stuff. And it came in right at the end of the bull run, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's when it came in. I remember now. I remember. So looking at the weekly here, pretty rough rejection. Monthly, same thing. Look. A lot of the ones that we're going to talk about tonight look like this, where they hit the monthly AEMA, did good, but didn't quite have the bulls to get by the hump, okay? There was a couple bulls running, but not enough in the pack to really scare everyone. And because of that, it's still stuck for the moment. Weekly-wise, you're seeing the rejection here. 50 moving average weekly was not having it at all. I think it's probably going to close somewhere around in here. 821 EMA is right underneath, so it's kind of pinned by those weekly moving averages. Daily, you're right underneath the 200. A lot look like this. You're going to go see a lot of them that have the same bit of fade back to support. Some failed down to the 100, like you saw me show a second ago with Ondo. Some have it. This one's held up a little bit better. Let's draw a trend line here, and we'll see what we get. Yeah, see, this could kind of consolidate a little bit more too. It's not a very strong uptrend, but it is an uptrend. But you could see this thing trickle and then go up. You could see it come down here and then move up. You could see it go from here, but I kind of doubt it. I'm kind of expecting a bunch of bounces here of trend lines and or runs back to support. Again, it's the first of the month. It's pretty typical. I don't want you to think it's wrong or stupid or anything like that. It's part of the gig. For me, I'm not buying this one yet until it either comes back to the trend line or breaks over that 200 moving average. This spot that it's in, for me, is a little too iffy. And because it's too iffy, I just walk away from it. Soon Hound. I think you meant Just Soon, which is a NASDAQ stock. I'm okay with that. Let's do that. All right, Soon Hound. This is just a regular stock, which is cool. We don't get to do many regular stocks on here because people don't usually ask for them a lot. Let's pull a a trend line up. That's not bad. She's still over the trend line on the weekly. She's fighting the weekly moving averages. I like that. That's got support. But here's the problem on the daily. You're fading those moving averages. I don't like falling under the 200. Do you see that? I don't like that right there. That needs to be over the 200 moving average, and it's under. That's a little sketchy. So you may come down here and get a better price on entry. And I would like to see that 200 moving average break to see some more continuation with the 821 right on top of it like that. That's a little too sketchy for me as well. I prefer a safer approach. SLC. Solus. Or Solace. Not Solus, Solace. Yeah, this one's for me is still a falling knife. Monthly's red, weekly's red, daily's red. That's a terrible weekly rejection right there. As far as daily goes, you're underneath everything. This one's a no for me until I see some sort of improvement. It tried to improve back here, but rejected and failed. And you got a lot of wicks popping up as if it's trying to find volume there, but can't sustain it. So for me, this one is a no thank you. Now, Peak, we looked at this in the Discord just a couple days ago. And I was looking at it thinking, what should we do? I know you look at this and you go, golly, this looks terrible. And you're right. It is terrible. But let's scroll out a little bit. Maybe it gets... No, that's actually... It doesn't get better at all. It still looks just as bad as it did. That sucks. I would like to see some improvement here. She hasn't given up a bunch yet, though, has she? All right. So weekly, that's a new lower low. Again, this is way too risky for me to want to buy. Let's go into why you should buy it. It is oversold somewhat. So if you're going to start adding, you want to add it oversold. But I'm going to warn you that MACD could go way lower, couldn't it? You see that. Look how low it was back here in June. Don't think it can't do it again. It absolutely can. It's underneath every moving average. Worrisome. Want to sneeze? Whew. I hate when you build up and then you don't actually sneeze. Bless me. Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you for the repost, Diego. August is traditionally not good either. That's the other problem, right? We get good summers and then sometimes August just shits in our face. I really don't want to see that. Had 2 weeks up and we'll finish 2 weeks down tomorrow. Anything is fair game. Absolutely, dude. That and Mim and all those Olympus forks. Absolutely. Baylor 2 times remembers that. Good to see you, Baylor. I hadn't seen you in a minute, brother. Where you been? Good to see you, my guy. Put some orders in a day, but didn't quite get low enough to fill them. Yeah, that's another thing. Maybe. Weekend coming more down before go up. Yeah, and I don't want to see any crazy price action on the weekend. I've been preaching this for a while, but this price action on the weekend sucks. I don't want that to happen, dude. We don't want Bitcoin moving on the weekend and creating more friggin' CME gaps, which, by the way, I didn't talk about yet. Let's go look at that real fast. By the way, I've had some data issues on my CME stuff, and I pay for CME data, and I'm still getting some issues on my CME stuff here. So looking back at CME, we had a CME gap form just a couple days ago, and what you're not seeing here is that the price went down to 114 almost flat, and it doesn't show it on here. That frustrates me. It is of note. You can see that we had a CME gap right here. See that? That big CME gap right there? We had a CME gap back to about 114.3, roughly. All right. So let's go to the regular Bitcoin chart and look. Where did this wick come down to? 114.3. So I'm going to consider that gap mostly closed or closed. I don't know why the data is not reporting right. I think it's a trading view issue, so I'm not going to stress on it too much. But we had wicks go down there to liquidation levels. And on a low time frame, you see these wicks after all that big fall off, indicative of a liquidity run. right? As if it just ran down there to grab liquidity, scared everyone, took some hearts and minds, and went right back up. And on a low time frame, I want you to notice as well, we came all the way down to the 1212 and the 1414. Remember when I showed you that going upward on the monthly? Well, it also does the same thing on lower time frames. Here you see it toward the downside. Hit the take profit fibs and immediately threw wicks and bounced back. What you didn't see on the monthly was there was no wicks rejecting. All right, so this might be the bottom here for a little bit. We'll see. See, Mullet said 112. If we get down to 112, I think 110. And if we get down to 110, I don't know how much lower we can get past that. But it's probably too soon to say that. You know what I mean? I don't want to get off on the rabbit hole of, oh, this is going to happen and just be completely wrong. And then what happens is you start to completely lose credibility and nobody wants to listen to what you say anymore. And I don't want to go there. So we looked at SLP, SLC, Peak, Sound, XDC we didn't do. I got you, Rug. Hope everything's going good out there out on the left coast, brother. Haven't talked to you in a while. Text me sometime or something. You still got my number hasn't changed. I've had the same number for almost 20 years now. Isn't that crazy? How I keep a cell phone number. How long has it been? It's probably been my cell phone came from Alltel. Remember Alltel, the cell phone company? That's where I originally got this number from. So that's been at least 15 years, if not more. Probably more now, almost 20 probably, honestly. Before my kid was born, that's for sure. Looking at XTC, you still got an uptrend going here, which is great. I really like the price action after yesterday's red. She didn't reject very hard. Oh, that's weekly, I'm sorry. But it didn't reject very hard. It bounced back with aggression. You had a lot of red come in, but XTC wasn't hearing it. Look at that. Big move up. She's through the 8, 21, 50, 100, and 200. You have a big group of tits crosses coming right there, and you haven't quite made a new high yet. I like the chart compared to others. I like the weekly, the monthly. Boy, that looks really good. It wasn't quite good enough to get a new high, but this is a really, really fair looking setup here for XTC. Let's see if she's got the strength to keep going. This is August 2021 back here, and you see it did have a good August back then. Let's see if it has another good August, because if it does and it can push out of this mud and keep going, more upside for it. I really hope so anyway. I really hope there's more upside for it. That weekly is a really, really encouraging looking weekly. It really is. Let's see if we can hang on to this, because this is a more established look than a lot of them are. You went really, really overbought, so be careful here. If we don't make a new high on the daily, you may get a little bit of a sell-off. If she falls back under the 8, she's coming all the way down here to these moving averages, in my opinion. 50K, 50's around 112. Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's going to take a bit, and I think over the time from now to the point where it actually does it, this price will slowly creep up there and get more close to around 114 again. You know what I mean? I'm not positive on that, but we'll see. And if it doesn't do that and it starts to go down rapidly, well, that 50 moving average is going to kind of start to bend down again. And if it bend down, you know it's up then, right? Once it starts to bend down, things get ugly. Virtuals. All right. Damn. Man. All right. So virtuals, others had a really good month. Virtuals didn't, did it? It actually closed underneath the 8 monthly EMA after being over for quite a while. Had a hell of a rip too. Look at that. Thing was way up there. Kind of a lower high. Not great. Are you going to make a lower low? Because that would really suck if it did. Weekly is pressed right onto the 50 moving average right now. Anything below this is trouble. If you look at the daily, she threw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 10 candles red in a row daily. It looked good, and then it went all bad at once. Underneath every single moving average. Don't like that. She's underneath the cloud 4 out of 4. That's not great. She's underneath the pivot, but she is on S1. There's some support there. I wouldn't, for my money, I'm not biting on this one yet. I need you to break trend right there first, and then I'll bite. Might not get the perfect bottom, but I'd rather wait for a confirmation here than get burned really badly. Solana. All right. Here's Solana monthly. Hey, look at there. Solana had a fair month. She managed to get back over the AEMA on the monthly chart. That's excellent. Weekly wise, so back to the 50-week moving average. There's support there, as well as the 821 on the weekly. That's pretty good. Daily, on the other hand, is a little bit in between messes here, right? You're under the 821 and you're over all of those moving averages in a bundle right there. When that happens, that tends to show you where price is kind of coming back to. I like the wick on the bottom of this candle, but I'm not sure I trust it. Is this going to bounce back and come toward these these EMAs up here again, or are we just going to roll over and get ugly down here? I think both are still fully open right now. I don't want to make a decision until I see a little bit better price action. I'm already in Solana. I could bail out and start scaling out of this, like I told everyone over in the Discord today, right? I don't want to make the wrong move in a rash. I think it's best to just wait it out a day or three and see if it changes course. A couple percent is probably better waiting on than panicking over, if that makes sense. That's the more sensible approach I'm trying to take with this stuff. Fart coin. Yeah, I can do fart coin. Why not? Let's grab this one. So monthly, couple rough months up here. Still over the monthly AEMA though. Weekly wise, you were doing pretty well until this week happened. You were riding the 821 EMA and then snap your fingers. Now she's failing the 821 EMA just like that. I don't like that. But daily, I do like the fact that she's snugged up next to the 200 moving average here. I told you guys this 200 moving average sort of acts like a magnet. And when it gets stuck on it, well, it's difficult for this thing to get broken loose of the 200 moving average. And you see this happening now. Looks like 10 out of 12 days in a row red. Again, you had that in the bingo card, right? Hold on, I'm pushing buttons. Whoops. I hate accidentally pushing buttons. You had that on your bingo card, didn't you?
Wrong.
You didn't have that on your bingo card, neither did I. But it happened. So now that we're back to the 200, this is a fair zone to look to maybe DCA to, maybe add to if you're thinking, hey man, maybe I can get a better price, or is this a pretty good price? Look, right here's support. You're right there at it. I can't really hate buying support. Risky, yes, but maybe worth it. There's your Fibonacci retracement. As you see, we are mathematically right underneath the golden ratio, golden pocket at 0.618 to 0.71. Not quite good enough. It looks like it's coming down to Sniper's Alley to me, which is 94 cent to 87 cent-ish. I think that makes sense for it to get there. That's also where the 200 moving average is. So maybe one more test of support and she can try to find her legs again. That was a pretty rough week, pretty rough month for Fartcoin. Let's be honest. SSK's paying a dividend. Nice. FLR and SHX. Let me write these down. SHX. Looks like EX today, 122 pay tomorrow. Nice. Nice. Very situate, dude. I got to get a new chair, bro. I keep saying that, but I'm a cheapo, man. I don't like to spend money. But I don't have no problem putting a bunch of money into investments. It's my dumb brain. Don't worry about me. I'm an idiot. All right, monthly. Let's go to Flare. FLR. We hadn't done this one in a while. Guess what? Look, monthly actually jumped back over the 821 EMA. That's pretty awesome. Glad to see that happening for FLR, Flare. That's a solid candle. Best candle it's had since last year in November. Weekly wise, you broke every moving average. You are red right now. Looks like it's going to back test a little bit, but that's not bad. It's a good look compared to what it was doing. Daily wise, you had a ton of green candles in a row. She jumped all the moving averages, but I want to warn you, she's slowly rolling back underneath that AEMA into the wait a minute zone, so be careful. All these moving averages are bundled up. She very well may fade all the way back to these moving averages. Could be worse. Still in the wait a minute zone. I don't think it's time to panic just yet, but watch very closely. SHX, Stronghold. All right, so Stronghold actually closed its highest month in the history of the coin. Wow. hell of a run for SHX. You love to see it. I don't buy anything with this name in it. I made my money on that and walked away from it. All right, so here's your fibs for it on the weekly. You made it through Sniper's Alley. That's awesome. You made it almost to the 1272. You got really, really, really close to the 1272. Just about got there. I think it will make another run at that, by the way. Those are take profit fibs, though. That's 0.03, 0.037, and 0.049, which is basically 0.05. But that's 150% up from here as well. Now, daily, hey, look, yesterday, even in the red, SHX managed to close green and get back over that 8 EMA right there, which is excellent. 2 closes over the 8 EMA in a row, and you're good, brother. Oh, you're welcome, Vintage Pennies. No problem. Give the video a like. I appreciate you being here, brother. Thank you. And you want to see 2 in a row over the 8 EMA. That's a signal usually for, hey, we're ready to start scaling back in. You're over everything else. Even the moving averages down here, the 100 and the 200 are now in order. Ascending, that's 8, 21, 50, 100, 200 in a row. That's excellent. It's a good setup for the future, whether it does it now or later. It's a good setup that shows that likely you have more up in the future. Again, maybe not right now, but if you give it, a little bit, there's probably legs under this thing to keep going. What about, I'll tell you what, let me look over here real quick and double check all the words. Let's make sure I got everything up right. Yeah, I already did, I did SLP, not JLP. I did soon already. It's on the, you'll see it on the playback, but JLP I didn't do, so let's do that now. I'm assuming that's a crypto Jupiter liquidity provider or JLP USDT Jupiter Launchpad. Which one is it? There's multiple JLPs. I don't know which one it is. I did soon though already. Not sure which one. It might be this Jupiter liquidity token, but I'm not positive. There's so many darn coins, man. This one does look pretty good though. Look at that. It's a really, really nice weekly. It closed its highest weekly ever. It closed its highest monthly ever. You're over the 821. That's awesome. Daily wise, you're still flying high, but you are in the wait a minute zone. All right, good distance. This is it. So yeah, it's in the 821 EMA. You're throwing a hammer off the 21. That's pretty good, but be careful. This is the wait a minute zone. Any farther down into the 21 EMA underneath it, that's scale out level. And if it does fail down there, get back over the 821 quickly. You don't have to worry about that 50 moving average. But if you do not get back over that 821 EMA quickly, the 50 moving average becomes your next target. So far, she's got support. Even if it fails, you got the pivot down here it could hold on to. That's pretty good. Ichimoku Cloud still 4 out of 4. While it has slowed down and it's in the wait a minute zone, it's literally a wait a minute. That's what I would do. I would just wait a minute to see what it does. I know it's sold off pretty aggressively for the last few days. You can't control that, but it was the end of the month. It's pretty commonplace. I like this candle that's making 2 on the daily. If it can continue to hold on to that buy pressure, that's a good sign. That's a good sign, I think. All right, cool. So let's do one we haven't done in a while is VET. It's been a while since I pulled it up on the stream and kind of went through it. So, all right. So last month that we just closed, man, kind of petered out right at the end. You did not make the 821 EMA. That sucks. Thought I was going to make it.
Wrong.
It didn't make it. Sucks, but not the end of the world. Let's see if next month, the one we just started, can be a little bit different. 236 is in the way right there on the monthly. Big weekly rejection. Had a really good couple weeks right there. It looked like it was going to make some ground, make some headway, and then just snapped its fingers and failed miserably. Look at that. Through everything, through the 200, through the 821, through the 100, through the 50, bang, 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 all at once. What a horrible look for for VT. Just as soon as it looked good, it instantly turns bad. So this is another one I've got to make a decision on because I'm already in this one. I don't like the fact that it turned as ugly as it did. Not much I can do about it, so deal with it. But this big of a sell-off this fast, frustrating. Frustrating. It really is. I thought surely we would have better luck than that. Now, on the regular chart, look, there's my actual buy lines. She's fighting the 50 moving average now. Let's see if it gets back over by the end of the day. But this was a terrible close. This was a terrible close. Would have loved to seen some buy pressure here. Holding on to the Ichimoku cloud barely. You've only got 1 out of 4. That's the green cloud on the end. Everything else is red. So I don't know, man. Doesn't look the greatest ever. This needs to snap out of this funk quickly, because if it doesn't, well, gonna have to cut her loose. Anyone into Momo? I don't know what Momo is, but let's look at the chart. That's all we care about here is the charts. We don't do teams. We don't do white papers. We don't do hopes and dreams. We only stick to charts. All right, that's a Momo. Is that on MEXC? Is that the only chart we've got? KCX? I don't know. Charts look a little wonky. I don't want to pick the wrong one and be flamed like I have before for picking the wrong one. But this is a really weird looking chart. If so, it's absolutely ripping if this is the actual chart, but I don't want to chart this one out if it's going to be really weird data like this. But it's over everything except the AEMA. It is fighting the AEMA now. Could be worse, right? It's a really, really weird looking chart. I wouldn't have been in this one at all. If you were in this one down here at the bottom and got in, you were extremely lucky. They probably did something or changed something or something to make the chart do what it did. But it's not technically a sell-off yet. It's still fighting the AEMA on a daily chart. That's about the best data I can give you on that one. Everything else is very weird. Everything else is very weird. Let's see. But thank you for asking, Jonathan. I appreciate you asking, brother. Let's see. Gala. Yeah, let's look at Gala. All right. Man, what was a good look? Rejected so harshly. Gala looked like it was going to have some moves here. Looked like it was going to work its way up to the 50 and the 100 weekly. Instant rejection on the weekly and just flat out took a nosedive. 9 out of 12 in a row red candles. Blew right through every moving average like VET. Just doesn't make much sense for all these to fail so dramatically in such a hurry. Bitcoin is still the king, and in case you didn't believe it, now you know for sure. Hey, yo, shout out Jonathan, by the way. Appreciate the $2, bro. That's awesome. We haven't had a super chat come in over a year. Shout out, brother. I appreciate it. I didn't bring any alcohol on here, but I got some sweet tea. Let's go, sweet tea. I'll get you a drink back next stream, okay? Come watch on the next stream on Tuesday or Thursday, and I'll get you a drink back then. Should have sold in 2021. We'll be selling now. You talking about VET? Yeah, I'll definitely be getting rid of it again. But it's this same thing with Gala here. This fell under everything all at once. It's super risky for me to try to buy it. I can't yet. I need to see a little bit better proof first. A little bit better proof first. You know what I mean? Can we do Link? Absolutely, we can do Link. Shout out to Shada. Good to see you, brother. That's at DGen Shada. All right. I'm glad you asked about Link because I meant to show this, and I'm going to record it too. So let's have a look at Chainlink. Let's start with the monthly chart. Now, glad to see finally Chainlink had a good month. First good month of the year for Chainlink. It did have a hammer month down here, but it was a tweener. First good month of the year. Look at this. It broke the 50, the 8, and the 21 moving averages all at once. It has a wick on top, but it's not an overbearing wick. It's just a little bit of sell pressure compared to some of the other ones we've seen. Really like this monthly look for Link here. Problem is the weekly. She was doing really well through this dragonfly at the top right here and immediately rejected. I hate that crap. But again, good news. You failed to support. Good. You didn't fail under support. You failed to it. It's got the same look as some others where it's underneath the 821 like Bitcoin. But look, you got the 200 and the 50, 100 down here to act as extra support if it wants to dig in. I like the bit of buy pressure that we've got here so far already today. Let's see if it can hold up. I'd like to see it battle that 821 and get back over again. And I wouldn't like to see it come down here and try flirting with failing it like we saw with Gala and with VET, okay? As far as the Ichimoku cloud goes, you're still 4 out of 4 there. You got a green cloud on the end. You've got the price over the cloud. You've got the baseline, the red line under the conversion line. The conversion line is on top. And you have the lag line in the back here over the candles and over the cloud. Very good look right there for the Ichimoku cloud. Can't complain a bit on that one. Pivot points. You're sitting right on the pivot point. This acts as a bullish bearish bit of indicator here. Anything over the pivot is considered bullish. Anything under the pivot is considered bearish. It's right on top of it. Not bad. It can test that. That's okay. No big deal. And we can have a look at the Bollinger Bands. They're kind of starting to squeeze again, but it might take a little bit. You've seen how wide they were. If you look at the RSI, she was super cooked. She got all the way up to 83, and it's failed very aggressively down to a nominal mid-range. As far as the MACD goes, you got a bit of divergence here. 5 big red volume bars in a row. I'm not sure we can continue to contain that many red volume bars in a row without having some sort of pullback in the other direction, meaning up. We'll see though, okay? I don't want to get ahead of myself, but some of these are going to hang on. Some of these are going to hang on. Chainlink's a big ecosystem. There's a ton of money in it. But we all know at the end of the day, none of that stuff matters. It doesn't make the price go up. The news only reports the price, not the other way around. The price doesn't report the news. So, baby steps, you know what I mean? Baby steps. Some of these altcoins just can't keep their feet. They just can't keep their feet. Every time they look like they're going to get going, they get pulled back on pretty roughly. Dab says, last cycle coins very risky, buy and sell very quickly. Right, yep. Agreed. I'm good at buying, lousy at selling. I kind of get the same way sometimes. Good news is I've taken a lot of profits this time. I've managed to get profits on quite a few of them, and I've been pretty proud of myself about that. Hey, you're not going to hit home runs every time. Sometimes you're going to fail. That's just part of the gig, man. How about Jupiter? Just part of the gig. Sometimes you're going to fail. Give me a better chart than that, Keith. Find a better chart. What are you doing, dude? About Bitstamp. There we go. So here's Jupiter monthly. I really don't like that monthly candle. That's a big amount of sell pressure on the top. A hammer candle with an inverted hammer candle. What are you doing, dude? Come on, make your mind up. Weekly wise, was looking pretty good. Snap your fingers. Immediate fail of the 821 EMA. Come on. Give me something to work with here. You know what I mean? And like others, just like you saw with VT and with Gala, you hit the 200, you rejected very aggressively, failed the 821 immediately, failed the 100 moving average immediately, and now it's tied up in between the 50 and the 100 moving averages, kind of trying to figure out what it wants to do. Could have been worse. It could have been worse. Could have failed even more aggressively. Luckily, it kind of slowed up a little bit into some support here. Now, some of these have failed support. Some of them like this one haven't. They're just sitting on support. You manage your own risk and figure out what you think you should do. Do you think you should go ahead and DCA into these? Do you think maybe you're in profits enough that you want to sell some and get some profits and move some off to the side and go, hey, man, I've got some money out of this. I'm doing pretty darn well. That's the problem, right? You got to start to balance that. I've been trying to balance that the whole time. It gets very, very rough and very, very risky trying to balance all this at once, plus put on a show for everybody to see, plus trade myself. It's daunting at times. All right, hype. Cheese asked about it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months of green in a row. Wick with some sell pressure on top, though. You got 3 red candles in a row here on the weekly. That 3-bar pattern right there tends to mean that if it doesn't close green by the end of the week, that we're going to have more downside. Not a guarantee, though. Looking at the daily. Oh, wow. First time that hype has fallen underneath the 50 moving average since April 25th. That's the last time it was under the 50. Wow. So do I expect this to jump back up? Well, it's been pretty resilient in the past. If she can get back over the 50 moving average here in the next day or two, she's got a chance to try to push into that 821. If it doesn't and it just sits over here and flirts, more downside to come. That 821 EMA will catch up, and when it does, there could be a big rejection right there. All right, so mind your P's and Q's on this one. I don't like that it fell under the 50. All right, that's iffy to me. That's a little more risk than I'm willing to take. You know what I mean? I don't like them falling under there. 3 black crows. Thank you, Mullet. Hey, that's one of them patterns that a lot of stock guys look for. It's a very, very old style pattern. Last one I think we do is DAG. Why? Because I've been following this one for a while. I don't own any of it, but I like to follow it. You know how the people are. That's all I'll say. Monthly, that close wasn't quite good enough. Big wick on the top underneath the 821 EMA monthly. Needed to see you above that. Weekly wise, 200 moving average continues to approach down. I got to take profit box right here around 6.5 to 7 cents. I think that's where it's going to get. Weekly's fighting these moving averages now, but trying to come back. This is the kind of bounce that I want to see right here. You see how that's coming off so aggressively off that 50 moving average? Hold on to this bounce here. Because if it can hold on to this bounce, there's a chance that it can come up here and try to push the upper levels, right? Get back over that 200 moving average again, and let's see some price action follow through for once. She is underneath the pivot exactly right now. I need to see a little bit more from it there. As far as the Ichimoku cloud goes, you've got over the lag line over the candles. That's good, but it's not over the cloud just yet. You are green on the end. That's good. You've got conversion over base. That's good, but the problem here is you're stuck in the cloud still. So you got 3 out of 4, now 4 out of 4. You're close, but not exactly everything you need. Let's go back to the daily here. Look at the RSI. You go. You kind of went hardcore overbought in July. It's sold off pretty aggressively, but it is in the nominal trading zone around 50. MACD got some divergence here after that crossover. 4 big volume bars in a row here. That's trending down and sideways. It's not necessarily trending up, and that's going to take a little bit of juice to get it to break. You know what I mean? You need to see a big push of volume to come in and kind of get it over the hurdle. That's a good start with an almost bullish engulfing right there. So if it can hang on to that for, the rest of the night and then into the weekend, give us a little bit more green on the backside of that, you could see that reversal back to the 200 moving average in due time. I think there's an opportunity for it to get moving here. It didn't quite get there, and DAG didn't record like I wanted it to. Whatever, dude. Whatever. I'm not going back through it again. It's fine. But here's what I will do. Listen, folks. You have one more day to get in for half off. 1 Starbucks coffee a month, $8, and it's actually less than a Starbucks coffee, right? You can actually get Starbucks coffees that cost more than $8 each, which is insane. Why would anybody pay that much? But people do it. It gets to get in our Discord. What does our Discord have? Full of learning material, full of people like me and other people sharing charts nonstop, 24/7, 365, explaining what we're thinking and why we're thinking it, placing our trades and showing you our trades to everyone. I show everything that I buy and sell over in Discord for everyone to see, so you know that I'm not making this stuff up. I have a spreadsheet there for everyone to look at. I hate updating the spreadsheet, but I do it. I don't like looking at it. It causes emotional reactions. But here you go, wap.com/team786. There's the link. This is your last chance. Not only do you get it for half off, one whole whopping $8 a month, but you get the first month free, so it's completely risk-free for the first 30 days. If you don't like it, you can take off, no problem. All right? I did this so everyone have a chance to get in. After this, brother, I'm tired of chasing people and trying to get them to show up. I can't make them do it. So come in and hang out. Be a part of what we got, brother. We all win together. We all win together. It's very important to have people in your ear that want you to win and not people in your ear that don't care about you. Anybody in our Discord will tell you I'm there to make sure everybody wins. I don't hate anybody. I'm here for everybody to make as much money as we can, all right? Please don't blow your opportunities. Please keep somebody in your ear that has your best interests at heart, all right? I try my best, and I hope you can understand. And come hang out and see what we got. That being said, thank you all for being here. I very much appreciate you guys coming and hanging out on these live streams. It's badass of you. We had almost 300 people this time. Very cool, man. Very cool. I don't know how it happened, but it happened, and we're all here together. So thank you. All right. Could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. Much, much appreciated. Make the best of your days, the worst of your tomorrows. All right. Let's have a better day every day than we had the day before. All right. Let's make the days last. And last but not least, if nobody told you today, Keith will tell you. Keith loves you. Got nothing but love for everybody out there. Thank y'all. See y'all on the next stream, man. Sky's the limit. Y'all be good. Next Tuesday, 4:20. Next Thursday, typical times, typical place. See y'all then. I'm out. Peace.